Chester's close-knit family of Visayan Warty pigs are about to face a test of their own.
You want me to say they're covered in warts, but they're not. They're considerably smooth-skinned, actually.
Warty pigs come from the Philippines, where they are critically endangered. Just 200 survive in the wild. At Chester, there are 6.
We've got Trey. He's our big, impressive breeding male. And then at the bottom of the pecking order, we've got little Wendy. Wendy is really quite a shy pig. She never really offends anybody, and she knows she's bottom of the pack. Pigs!
The whole group outmuscles Wendy at mealtimes.
Wendy's sort of keeping a distance, just chewing on a bit of nasty old broccoli because she doesn't want to get in a fight for the nice bit of juicy apple.
But Wendy has one close ally, her twin brother, Johnny.
When they were smaller, Johnny and Wendy were literally inseparable. They would go everywhere together. These little stripy humbugs, bright orange, really, really nice little youngsters they were. They were very sweet.
A year ago, when the twins were just 6 months old, they lost their mum.
So at that point, they really had to stick together. Johnny, he kind of really found his feet, and he could really kind of stand up for himself in the group. And he tried to protect Wendy, but ultimately she is smaller. She is very subordinate to everybody else.
But Wendy is growing up fast, and she's already starting to attract unwanted attention.
She's kind of getting to that age now where she's getting to be sexually mature. She's getting extra attention, something that normally she tries to avoid.
It's Jake, one of the 2 breeding males, who's making a beeline for Wendy.
She's probably a bit confused and she just probably wants to get away. Her little way of hanging about in the shadows might be over. Because when a male warty pig is in the mood, he can be very, very persistent.
Too young to breed yet, keepers need to discourage Jake's attentions. But before they're able to do anything, Wendy escapes.
She climbs over the barrier that's in the water that's supposed to be keeping her in.
Curator want a vet team. Prep your equipment for an escaped Visayan Warty pig female.
While Jake looks on from the bank, Wendy swims frantically across the canal to the other side.
Once she'd got to the bank on the other side, she was a little confused on where she wanted to go. The problem is it's always at that point where you're just about to do something that they decide to change and go in opposite direction.
Canoes are scrambled as Wendy swims back towards the pig's paddock.
She was a faster swimmer than I expected.
And the one place they didn't want her to go
Need to come around the other side.
was, of course, the one place that she went. No man's land.
Just stay there.
Which is a fair couple of acres worth of over-your-head height stinging nettles, thistles, trees, bushes. It's a perfect hiding place for a little pig.
Guys, has anyone got eyes on her?
Wendy has vanished into the undergrowth. Wendy, the runaway warty pig, has been missing for over an hour.
Pig has gone off into the bushes at the back of its enclosure. It's no longer near the canal. We're trying to get a few more people down here to do observations on it.
When you hear that as a zookeeper, your stomach just sinks. You think, oh, God, no.
Wendy is still within the zoo's borders and safe from other animals, but there's acres of scrubland to hide in.
No Man's Land is a large area at Chester Zoo. There's a lot of undergrowth and a lot of things for a young pig to eat. She didn't want to go back into the enclosure.
If you guys can head down the back of the Visayan Warty pig house to walk through, OK?
It's now late afternoon and the zoo will soon be closing. Watched by Wendy's twin, Johnny, the team begins an urgent pig hunt.
All radios, this is a green animal escape alert. The Visayan Warty pig.
The thistles and brambles are, 4 foot tall. We've got half a dozen staff trying to locate her, but it really is needle in haystack now.
Keepers are now concerned for Wendy's safety. It's been nearly 2 hours since the last sighting. They need to find her.
If you've got anybody spare to turn up with a strimmer here, and let's just clear this first bit. Don't do the reeds, don't do the pond. Just work our way here and that bit down the side.
Soon it will be dark, and little Wendy faces her first ever night alone.
In my time, I never had an animal out for any length of time. Usually we're able to catch them within minutes, if not an hour or so. It's the worst case scenario.
Wendy has now been missing in the undergrowth for 18 hours.
Look at this. We have seen prints just over there and also way over there. The longer she's out, the harder it is to get her accepted back into the group. If they don't accept her, there's a chance that they never will.
It's 1 o'clock.
Great to see it go, though, when you lost it.
And back up into that bush, round to the right.
And the runaway is finally spotted.
It headed towards the water, dipped its toe and then ran back.
So it go from where, sorry? From...
One of the guys on the strimmer actually disturbed Wendy.
Yeah.
Somebody just bolted past me.
Right.
He raised the call. I've seen the pig, she's headed back to the enclosure.
Keepers close in on Wendy from the canal.
We're there now, it's been spotted, he's been flushed out.
And the paddock.
Twilight 3 to curator 1. Yep, I can confirm she is definitely in the paddock.
She was in the paddock. She'd gone back of her own accord.
She's right by the gate, but she is in the paddock.
All you can do at that point is just breathe a big sigh of relief and just think, God, Wendy, never do this to us again.
After a night out on her own, Wendy needs to be checked by a vet before they reunite her with the group. At the Visayan Warty pig house, runaway Wendy is finally ready to rejoin the group.
Right, shall I open this up then, yeah?
And square up to frisky male Jake.
Right, that's open, that middle one's open. Right, this end.
On this part, see how they're doing.
Wendy tentatively joins the others.
That's Jake there, that's Wendy. Jake's just trying to wind everyone up, I think. He's just going to start throwing his weight around, yeah.
Jake is, as usual, pestering the female pigs.
I think Jake's just round the corner there.
a little bit of behaviour going on here.
But so far, Wendy's managed to keep him at bay. Wendy's contraceptive is a success.
Massive relief. It went really well in the end.
And the breeding females are turning the tables on Jake, chasing him through the paddock and putting him in his place.
This is Chrissy down here. That's Jake getting chased. They can give as good as they get.
Wendy can return to her quiet life after her experience in the wild.
You never know, it might make her a bit more confident, it might bring her out of her shell a little bit more, and yeah, she's a pig of the world now.